And you know, we need to find out about ourselves things that to help us learn better, to be better in what we do, not just only learning, but later on in our career and you know, in everything we do. So here, you can hear me. Still people keep coming. Okay, so I will show you a picture here. Please, can you tell me who is on the picture? Raise your hands. Follow the instructions. Close your eyes by 70% and try to find out who is on the picture. Okay, here we have some people already ready to answer. Okay, Faris Khalid, who is on the picture?
Einstein.
Oh, very good, Faris.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's Einstein. Thank you. All right, just a minute. Okay. Now, I have named this lesson 21st Century Study Skills because, you know, in the 21st century, things seem to be a bit more different than in the previous centuries. Here, you're all young people, and I have talked a lot with young people here in Saudi Arabia, and I have taught young people a lot. And there seemed to be some difficulty in finding the proper way to learn. And you know, we need to find out about ourselves things that to help us learn better, to be better in what we do, not just only learning, but later on in our career and you know, in everything we do. So here, it's not only me going to be doing the talking. I will be asking you questions. I will wait for you to answer, and it's going to be like sort of a discussion as much as possible online with the limited resources of Zoom or whatever we have. But let's try. And I'll be very happy if by the end of this session, you have got something useful from it. Because this is not grammar, it's not reading and all that. It's about studying skills. It's about how to study, how to organize ourselves, how to be aware, like that means how to be conscious or how to know what we are doing. Because I see students, they sit for hours and they're trying to learn and they're trying to memorize. But today, this is not how we learn. Memorizing and simply remembering things is not enough. Okay, so we started here. I just kept the picture and let's move on. First, we are going to talk about learning styles. Does anyone know what is a learning style? Any idea? Okay, Fahad is ready with his hand up. Okay, Fahad, what's a learning style? Help us. Fahad?
Yes.
Yeah, what is the learning
sorry,
style?
Sorry, I don't have any idea. But
okay.
I can't.
Okay, no problem. That's okay, no problem. Put your hand down, please.
Okay.
We have here Hajar. Thank you very much for that. We have Hajar. Hajar, do you know what's a learning style?
Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
I think some people are visual and some people are listener and some people are, I don't remember what's the third kind.
Yes, very good, Hajar. Mashallah, mashallah. Yes, you are absolutely right. We are going to talk about that. Thank you very much. Absolutely right. We are going to talk about, thank you. We are going to talk about how people learn best. As Hajar said, some people are visual. We'll see what that means. Some are auditory, that means by listening, and some others are kinesthetic. Okay, let's move on and see about that. Now, do you know that each and everyone, we have our unique way of learning? Unique way of learning. Thank you for all of you who lowered your hands. Okay. Unique way of learning, it means you have your own way of learning. My way of learning is not the same like yours, for example, Hajar, or yours is not the same like Fahad's, okay? And although there will be some things which are similar, everyone learns in a different way, in their own way. Now, the first way is, is the visual. The visual learners, as Hajar said, they need to see the information in order to understand and learn it. Think about yourselves, maybe when you learn, you remember the thing, the page, maybe you remember the page as it is. Maybe when you open the book, after that, when the exam comes, the page comes back there in your mind. That means you are very much a visual learner. So visual learners prefer using materials like images, graphs, charts, diagrams, pictures in general. With pictures, they remember very well, and they can, after that, remember that information, bring it back, and write it there in the exam, this way. So this is the visual learner, as you see, by seeing and reading. Other type of learner is auditory. Auditory, as Hajar said, by listening and speaking. You know, some people are very good by learning to listening, by learning through listening to a lecture. You know, they don't really need to see the notes, but they can hear and they can remember. And also these kind of learners, many of them, they hear the instruction, they like to speak about it. They like to speak with the others in a discussion. This way, this helps them to remember. And when the time comes to write the exam, they remember what they have been talking about. This is auditory. Think about whether you are a visual or whether you are an auditory. We will find out about it just in a while. The next one, the third one, actually there are 4, some people say, but we are going just only to talk about 3. The fourth one is called kinesthetic. There are 2 spellings. Don't worry about the spelling. One is with A, the other one is without A. Both are correct, the spellings. So the kinesthetic learners, they are, you know, sometimes the teachers call them, you are hyperactive. Actually, these are the kinesthetic learners. They like to move. They do best when they move, they touch the things, they do the process. You may want to, if you are a kinesthetic learner, maybe you like to stand. Maybe you like to walk while you're learning. You want to participate in what is going on. That is why nowadays the teachers, they try to teach by combining everything. They give a lecture, they show images and pictures, and they ask the students to do the things with their own hands. Maybe, you know, they ask them to write it, or maybe they ask them to organize the things. So that is why when a teacher asks you to do something, don't immediately say, oh, that's nonsense, you know, she's asking me just to move around. Maybe you don't learn this way, but maybe others learn this way. So a teacher is trying to help everyone by accommodating, by helping them according to their learning style. Now, why we are talking about this here? Because you are young people, all of you, and now you are not grade 3, 4, 5, 6. You are, mashallah, you alhamdulillah grown up, and you need to be aware about yourselves. You need to know about yourselves. And to help you know about yourselves, there are many, many ways. Now the internet is full of information. So here, let's see, do you want to understand what kind of learner you are? Here, I have prepared for you a small questionnaire, a quiz. Now, you can scan here. Someone has been doodling and writing. Just a minute. Let me clean this. Okay, okay. Now you can scan the QR code. If you cannot scan the QR code, we have time, don't worry. Type here, type the link. Go ahead and let's do it. It's a very simple one, really very simple. It will take you no more than 5 minutes. And let's have a look at what everyone will get back as an answer. What kind of learner are you? I'm giving you 5 minutes, everyone. Once you're done, if you want to share what kind of learner you are and how you learn best, of course, you can raise your hand and you can tell me, was this quiz correct about how you feel? It will not be the same as what you think. We have a question, Kasim. You have a question?
Yes, yes.
No?
Enter on this.
Yes.
How enter?
Type here, type www. You can scan the QR code if you have, maybe you have a QR code scanner. If you don't have, type it here. www.homeschool.com, then /articles, type all this. Type it, we have time. In Chrome, in Mozilla, whatever you're using, you can type it.
Okay, thank you.
Since we don't have a chat, no problem. Since we don't have a chat, I cannot simply give you the link there.
Okay.
That's why I'm keeping it here. No, don't worry, go ahead. I'm keeping it here for you to see, and I will show you how it looks like just after 1 minute. So while you're doing it, here there are some tips for you to see. How do you remember information? Read over and over. Do you doodle? Do you write it? Do you imagine it? Or do you do something physical, maybe move around, or do you enjoy touching things and putting things apart and putting them together? This is how it should look like. This is here taking the quiz. Answer the questions one by one, and on this side, on the left side, you will get the answer. Who are you visual? Are you auditory? Are you kinesthetic? It's just only 15 questions. Once you're ready, bring your hand up and we can just discuss. Hajar is ready. Okay, Hajar, just half a minute more. Abdullah, also ready. Just let's see what the others are doing. Wait for them. One more minute. Okay, we have here Hajar.
Yes, auditory.
Yeah, Hajar, what's your
Auditory.
learning style? Yeah, auditory.
Auditory.
So
Auditory.
yeah, so how do you manage to learn? How do you manage to learn?
By listening.
Mm-hmm.
By listening, by reading.
Okay, so if you have only a book in front of you and you have to learn from the book, what do you do being an auditory learner?
I can, there is a book for listening. I can, some programs, they read the book, they record the book, and you can listen to it.
Yeah, very good. Yes, excellent. It's audio books.
What?
Yeah, perfect. Thank you, Hajar.
Thank you.
You're an auditor. That's interesting. Okay.
You are.
Thank
you
you.
are.
I said thank you.
You
It's
are welcome.
interesting to meet an auditory person. So,
Thank you.
Abdullah, what kind of a learner are you?
Yes, how are you? I'm kinesthetic
Hi, good.
learner.
How are you?
You hear me?
Kinesthetic. You can repeat it.
Yeah.
Kinesthetic. Very good. Okay, very good. So, how do you learn? How do you learn?
I learn by doing something or participate in physical activity or something, anything like when I apply something by my hand, I learn it because I do it by touch or something. Because when I make something with my hand, it's easy to when see visual and kinesthetic to learn it.
Yeah, it is. So for you, it's like both. Yeah.
Yeah.
So is it true?
Yeah.
So the answers were true for you?
Yeah, it's true. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. Razan, what was your result?
Visual. Hello. And it's true.
Is this how you are? Are you very visual?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm learning about. I'm learning by picture than talking a lot and listening.
Okay. So it's okay. Great. So when we are having classes, as you see, the teachers are saying as well as they are putting a picture. So for you, the picture remains in your memory. Yeah.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, Qasim. Now we'll ask one more and we'll continue. We've got lots of things to do today. Don't worry. Most of you will have chance to answer and to talk. So Qasim, what about you?
Still not finished.
You didn't finish yet. Am I saying your name correctly? Okay. Am I saying your name correctly? Okay. What about Huzama?
Yes, hello, teacher.
Hello. Can you say, how do you say your name? I'm sorry.
Khuzama. Khuzama.
Thank you. Okay. What about you? Tell me your results.
Visual learning. When I want to read a book, yeah, I have some pen to make highlight on the important things. And it's better to me to see graphs or charts or anything. And sometimes when I talk with someone else, yeah, it makes me more clear for me about any object.
Okay, very good. So it's both, you know, visual, and not everything is just I am only visual or I am only auditory. Mashallah, good.
Yeah.
So highlighting is really good. That's a very good thing to do when
I
you're
can't
studying.
study
So
without it.
your attention. Yeah, good,
Yeah, that's
mashallah.
right.
So you know about it, about yourself. Yeah, great. Thank you, Khuzama. And one more, I will ask
Thank you so
Sajjan.
much.
Oh, thank you, my dear. So I will ask Sajjan. You will be the last one.
Yes. Hi.
Tell me, Sajjan, what was your result? Hi.
I'm an auditory learner. My result is correct, but I'm most likely to be flexible with what I have. Like if I have to say from a book, I can do that. But I prefer to be, if it was a listening, then actually book. But yeah, the result was right.
Okay, good. So actually, yeah, result was right. Actually, as you most of you see this, you know, it's like a mixture, right? But you have one strong side, one strong way of learning, and the other is just, you know, just a helping, like a supplementary, or helping you further to learn, to improve yourselves in learning. Thank you so much. So we will continue now with just giving some more information about these learning styles. And again, there are three, yeah, some people say there are four, like reading and writing, but mostly the scholars agree on three, that the visual absorbs and retain. Absorb means accept and keep the information better when it is, for example, pictures, diagrams, and charts. Auditory is about listening, okay? Like, you know the word audio, yeah? It's the same, sound. They prefer listening to what is presented. Best, they respond to voices, lecture, group discussion, and hearing your own voice when you're learning. When you're talking to the tutor or to your friends, to your peer, that's also very helpful. You process it and then you say it, so it remains with you. It's just for those who are visual this way. The writing is this way for them who are visual. And the other one is the kinesthetic, the physical experience ones. Hands-on approach. Hands-on, it means that you want to do it. For example, for you, you want to do it. You want to write the sentence. You want to practice the grammar. You want to speak out and use the word in a sentence in order to understand. When we talk about languages, yeah? Because now here we're learning language mostly. And this here, it's just helping you to know better about yourself. Now, here there are some tips. There are some tips that can help you, and maybe you have your own, and some of you gave me very nice tips extra from what I have. About the auditory learners, you know, YouTube is a great help. And like Hajar said, she likes to listen to audiobooks. For auditory learners, search for information on YouTube. Now, I know the youngsters, you young people, are so much into YouTube and Instagram and all that. But I have seen time being wasted on YouTube like nothing else. So when you learn, when you are there for learning, stay there for the learning. Look for the information and stay there on that information. Then play it several times, but think about it. We will come to that again. Think about what you're listening to. Think about what you're hearing. Keep it in your mind. Don't just put it as the background while you're doing something else. When you're learning, learn by listening and be there with your mind. Also, just like Hajar said, you can find good audiobooks or educational CDs on the topic. It's not difficult. The internet is full of audiobooks. Many of them are free. And of course, if you are working and if you need it for your job and something is paid, perhaps you will need to. I don't think they charge too much. You know, what is on the internet is not so expensive. People offer it for, you know, small amounts of money. Another thing you can do is record yourself and play it later while reviewing. This is something very, very useful, recording yourself. One thing is like you are saying it, and then after that you are listening to your own voice. This way, you can also, you know, find the mistakes, you enjoy your own voice, you know, get used to your own voice. Another way to learn is to listen and to repeat what you hear. This is, we're talking about the pronunciation, about speaking, learning to speak. This is not only for the auditory, for everyone, learning to speak and getting pronunciation. One of the best ways to do is listen and repeat. Try to copy the same way how the person is talking. Try to find, when we talk about accent, when we talk about how to speak properly, try to find someone who is a native speaker, who is explaining it, and follow them. That is very helpful. And of course, you can find it on internet, on YouTube, and not only, but there are many audio sites which are paid. That's why I haven't put them here. The YouTube is the most popular one. Now, another thing is talk to people about what you've learned. Maybe you want to share with some of your friends. If they're not interested to hear, talk to someone who is interested. Your mother, your siblings, like brothers, sisters, you know, they can listen to you. Or someone with whom you have a common interest. Then when you discuss the things with them, it is extremely helpful for you to remember the information and later on to bring it back so that you can use it for exam maybe, or just for your knowledge. It's not only about exams. Okay. Now, here I want to show something about the visual learners. Of course, that can be used by everyone. It's not just only visual. Like I said, it's a mixture of learning styles for many people. This is, they call it a mind map. Mind mapping is extremely useful when you're learning vocabulary, and not only when you're getting organized, also when you're organizing your schedule. This is, let's say you have to learn vocabulary on sports. It's a simple example. You put in the middle the word sport and then start thinking, okay, there are how many sports I know? There are individual sport. That means one person is one team. There are water sports, there are team sports, there are contact sports. This is just a simple example. And about each water sport, for example, they have given different kinds of sports. Team sports, different kinds of sports. There will be more in team sports, definitely. Contact sports, that means where you are touching. Contact, where you're touching the thing that you are playing with. And this is called mind map. There can be many, many other ways of mind mapping. Let's say about clothes, or about food, or about free time. Lots and lots of mind maps you can make. This way, by writing it down on a piece of paper, it's very helpful for you to learn this way and to remember the information. So this is a mind map. It's extremely helpful. Use it as much as you can. Another thing is a diagram. They're very useful, and the internet again is full of them. You can make your own also. And the teachers use it a lot when we teach, for example, grammar. See the future tenses. There are different future tenses. Present continuous used as future, going to, or will. And it's showing the different ways as well as the different meanings of how we use it. Okay. So this is for the visual learners and not only for the visual learners. So diagrams, mind maps, graphs, and pictures and images. Maybe you will imagine, you will remember your book. Okay. It's very helpful for the visual learner. Now the kinesthetic, we had only one person saying I'm a kinesthetic learner, maybe others are also. But you know, kinesthetic learners, sometimes teachers don't understand that that person is a kinesthetic learner. And the teacher tells, oh, you're hyperactive, sit, throw the gum, don't chew a gum, okay? Stop talking, stop moving around. Well, actually the student is a kinesthetic learner and they need to move around and do things. Sometimes it's really disturbing for the others when we are in a classroom. But now that mostly the studying happens at home, you can do it in your own way. The kinesthetic learners, they move around while they're listening or they're reading to something. Yeah, they move around. It's very common to chew a gum or to have a snack during learning. Of course, in the classroom, you can't have a snack while you are learning, and most teachers don't even allow a gum, no, but you will have to manage without it. You can put also a lot of post-it notes on the wall to help you, like when you're moving, to help you with the things. When you read it, you will remember it. It will just get there in your head. Also, the kinesthetic learners, they need to take study breaks more often. Everyone needs to take study breaks. You can't just sit and study for 3 hours continuously. Maybe someone can. I'm not saying it's not possible. Maybe someone can. But for most people, they need to have a break. Like you study for, let's say, 40 or 50 minutes and then have a 10, 15, 20 minutes break. Okay, and the kinesthetic learners, you need to participate in what you are learning. Participate not by listening, but by doing, and doing the process step by step. For example, if you're learning computers, you need to see that you need to take out the parts. Just seeing it on a picture, it's not enough for you. You need to just touch it physically and do it physically. As well as with the grammar, you will need to write it down, the exercises and the sentences, the vocabulary. I guess you need to use the words in a sentence to see how it's used. So these are some tips here for the kinesthetic learners. Okay, any questions here? Any questions? You want to ask me anything or you want to share something? Anyone? Because we will move on to something else now. This was about helping you realize about yourself. Fahad has a question or wants to say something. Tell us, Fahad.
How are you?
Hi, good. How are you?
Good. I have some question.
Go on.
Some people have a big problem talking to people. Example, understand what my friend says with me, but I don't know how to speak to them in English. Is this problem?
No problem. No. Yes, I understand. This is because you are worried that you will say something wrong. Usually, yeah, maybe it happens sometimes when you were younger, maybe you said something and the others were laughing. You know, it happens a lot. The children, they are so cruel, they immediately start making fun of the others. You should not be afraid at all. Now we are big people, and even if you make a mistake, be brave and just say, don't worry about mistakes. Don't think about mistakes, okay? For example, maybe you have something in your mind. Another thing is to help you have something in your mind. You want to say it. Find out how to say it, you know, or maybe using a dictionary, or maybe listening to some conversation, listen to some people, how they talk about it on the topic, and repeat it. Repeat it several times until you are confident that you can say it. And
yeah, but
really don't bother about mistakes. Yeah?
yes, every day I save the vocabulary, but after next week I forget that vocabulary. I don't know what the solution that this is the problem. But I'm not practice every day with some people. I don't know what I do.
You know what, Fahad? I will tell you something. I learned vocabulary and I learned grammar the way how you are learning it now. And now
Yes.
I don't have any problem. Why? Because when I had to speak, I just was speaking. Okay, this is how with you also. We, in the end of the session today, we have some help for how to study vocabulary. Okay.
Yes.
Now, when you're studying vocabulary, you just need to practice. There is no that much easy way. There is no shortcut. You know the word shortcut?
Yes, yes, yes.
There is, yeah, there are no shortcuts when you're studying vocabulary. But there is one easy thing, listening a lot and reading a lot. Now, maybe you study vocabulary for 1 hour, maybe you studied 20 words, now you remember them, after 5 days you forgot them.
Okay, and every day I reading the books.
It will come to
Then
you, don't worry.
listen more, okay?
Yeah. It will be fine. It doesn't happen for one night. It cannot happen for 1 month also. You need to keep on doing it, and you have to, maybe your job, it will need some English. While you are looking for ways to say, for ways to write, you will remember little by little, little today, little tomorrow, and things will come to their place. The only thing is you need to practice, you need to learn. Don't stop reading, because the reading is the most important part of everything. Reading and listening to conversations, listening to audiobooks, listening to explanation, okay? But the best way to learn is through reading, yeah? And that's a very good question you asked me. Inshallah, you will be fine. And you are speaking, it's okay, even if you are forgetting the words. Everyone forgets the words. Do you think that the native speakers, they know all the words? Of course they don't worry. So it is a process, it's a learning, and mashallah, you are learning, you're here now with us and you're taking the course. So definitely you will improve and you will be able to speak. And thank you for this question. I will share with you something. I used to teach in a college, and there some of the students, I had one student, she couldn't speak at all. She didn't know English at all when she started speaking with me, when she started studying with me, but she was learning every day and she was working very hard. And you know, by the end of the year, it's just 9 months, no, less than 9 months, maybe 8 because of Ramadan, you know. By the end of the year, she took the exam with B1. You know, she was A0. I don't know, some of you maybe know A0, B1. This is the level of your English. So she was working really hard. She was doing all the writing, all the tasks, and she was trying and speaking. And even though she was making mistakes, she took the exams with B1. So mashallah, you will be fine. Just keep on learning. Don't give up. Don't think, oh, I have problem here, I have problem there. Don't think about the problem. We will come to that. Okay. All right. Anyone else wants to say something, or we'll continue? Okay, we'll continue. Now, we are coming to another part. This is about getting organized. Now, getting organized is something very important, and many young people, they don't pay attention to this. They are thinking that it's not necessary to be organized. I can just sit, I can study, and then I can move on and I can do something else, and or I will just sit and I will do whatever I need to do and then leave it and forget it and go ahead and do something else. But getting organized, being organized is extremely important in today's life. As you see, things are getting more complicated in life, and we need to be organized. These are skills that we need to learn, actually. We need to be a bit more disciplined. Now, tell me, can you find the problems? Can you find the problems in these pictures? Who wants to say? Look at the pictures. There are problems, of course. One of them is pretty obvious. The other maybe not so much. Okay, Abdullah?
Yes.
What problem did you find?
Not be in the right side, or not be the appropriate side, maybe like the house here, the garage, it's closed by this, I don't know what this is, what called?
Post. Yeah, it's a post. It's a post. It's a post.
Yeah, because the garage is closed.
Yeah, very good. Look at this. Yeah, it's in front of the garage.
Yeah,
garage. It's in front of the garage. How can the car? How can the car go inside?
Or get back or get outside? No, not
absolutely. Yeah. Either they put the post in the wrong place, or they built the garage in the wrong place. We don't know exactly.
Or maybe they built
but there's something wrong.
The house in the wrong place, maybe. Who's building the house?
Maybe, absolutely. Yes. Usually houses come later. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, very good. Thank you. Any other? Thank you. No, someone else, okay? Not you. You already answered. Okay. Someone else? Someone else? What about the other problem? So there was a problem here with this. What about the other thing? Okay, we have here Mrs. Noof.